Exclusive contracted novel by Feilu Novel Network. Air Force. Rise from Counterfeiting Ace Pilots. Crossing parallel time and space, Jiang Chen became a high school junior who had just finished the college entrance examination and failed. I originally wanted to live a simple life, but who would have thought that a system called Ace was bound, and at the beginning, I gave away a flight simulation cabin. Entering the virtual space of the flight simulation cabin, you can actually pilot various aircraft. Ding! Congratulations, the flight time of the host trainer aircraft has reached 1000 H, and the following fighter jets can be unlocked: J-8 fighter jet, J-10A fighter jet, S-27 fighter jet. Jiang Chen is full of ambition and plans to apply for an Air Force Academy next year, becoming a true ace pilot. A childhood sweetheart invited him to travel and relax, but Jiang Chen readily agreed and boarded a plane flying to the snowy plateau. But who would have thought that the plane would encounter an accident during flight, with the captain and co-pilot seriously injured? All human lives are in danger. At this moment, Jiang Chen stepped forward and said, "I am the ace pilot of the Air Force." Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 1. Ace Pilot System, 1/5 for collection. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 1. Ace Pilot System, do. In the cockpit, the fighter jet emitted a sharp warning sound. The fighter jet jolted violently in the air. Jiang Chen exerted all his strength, holding the lever and increasing the throttle in an attempt to break out of this cumulus cloud at the fastest speed. But hail hit the wings of the plane like bullets. Bang! A loud bang rang out. The plane lost all its power in an instant. It was an engine malfunction that caused the aircraft to stop in the air. Damn it! Jiang Chen's face was solemn. I saw him adjusting his flying posture while gradually lowering his flying altitude by gliding. Suddenly, he saw a lake appearing not far away. I am secretly happy in my heart. Fly the plane towards this lake. Flying over the lake, Jiang Chen maintained a stable flight while working hard to reduce the aircraft's speed to the lowest possible level. Finally, this subsonic J.1 aircraft slowly stopped on the water surface. Ha! Jiang Chen let out a long breath of turbid air. Damn it, fortunately we chose a subsonic aircraft, otherwise it would be really difficult to pass this level, he murmured. Ding! At this moment, a series of electronic synthesis sounds echoed in Jiang Chen's mind. Congratulations to the host for completing the air parking level and successfully unlocking a new map. Heavy Aircraft Dungeon. Congratulations, the flight time of the host trainer aircraft has reached 1000 H, and the following fighter jets can be unlocked: J-8 series fighter jets, J-10 series fighter jets. Upon hearing the electronic synthesis sound in his mind, Jiang Chen was not surprised, as if he had turned a blind eye to it. Really, it has been over a month since I traveled to this world, and it has been more than 30 days since I bound this system called Ace. I can almost hear this electronic synthesis sound every day, except for feeling fresh on the first day. I am already immune now. Jiang Chen is not from this world. More than a month ago, due to an accident, he traveled to this parallel world and became a high school junior who failed. This world and Earth are completely different worlds. Although both belong to modern civilization, there is no commonality between the two worlds. But as an ordinary person, in which world doesn't one have to live an ordinary life? But Jiang Chen originally wanted to live a simple life, but to his surprise, at the beginning of his journey, he was bound to a ACE system. What is ACE? It means Aerial Combat Hero. So, this system is simply tailored for pilots. Moreover, at the beginning of binding, the system gifted a flight simulation cabin as a gift. This simulation aircraft may seem similar to a typical flying game, but the content is vastly different. Entering the simulation chamber is like entering the real world. In the simulation cabin, there are Xiaogua's J.series fighter jets, H.series bombers, and Y.series transport planes across the ocean, beautiful country F.series fighter jets, B.series bombers, and so on. Almost all the aircraft on this planet are included. Moreover, driving an aircraft in a simulated cabin can lead to various air accidents and unexpected situations, which not only teaches people various aircraft driving skills but also crisis management methods. It can be said that with this flight simulation cabin, becoming an ace pilot is simply not a problem. The key is that the time inside this flight simulation cabin is almost stationary compared to real time. That is to say, even if you stay in the flight simulation cabin for a few days or nights, in reality it may only be a few minutes. So, although it has only been over a month, Jiang Chen has become proficient in piloting several types of aircraft, including propeller planes, trainer planes, and the J-7 fighter series from World War II. If it weren't for the difficulty of clearing the flight simulation cabin, he would probably have flown all the planes once by now. Nice, the fighter jet has finally been unlocked. I don't know if there are any air combat levels for the fighter jets in the simulation cabin. If there are, it would be great. Jiang Chen looked excited. At this moment, his attention was focused on the new map. The flight simulator has a total of 4 maps, namely Trainer Dungeon, Fighter Dungeon, Heavy Aircraft Dungeon, and Helicopter Dungeon. The trainer and fighter dungeons have already been unlocked before, along with the heavy aircraft dungeon. 3 of the 4 maps have been unlocked. Why don't we go take a look at the heavy aircraft dungeon first? He hesitated slightly on his face. At this moment, a crisp and pleasant voice came into my ear. Aunt Jiang, is Jiang Chen here? Momo is here. Jiang Chen is reading in his room. You can go find him yourself. Another voice rang out. Jiang Chen was taken aback for a moment and immediately realized. With a moment's thought, I exited the flight simulation cabin and returned to the real world. Then, the room door was pushed open, and a beautiful girl with a ponytail appeared at the door. When she saw Jiang Chen, a faint smile appeared on her face. Carrying hands behind his back, he walked into the room and said with a smile, "Every day I know I'm reading books in my room. Do you know how to balance work and rest? Reading is foolish, but who will be blind in the future and marry you?" P.S. Old author's new book, kneeling down to ask for the support of all the big shots. At least 10,000 words of updates will be made on the day of publication. If the results are good, there will be more updates. This book has around 100,000 words of saved manuscripts. Don't worry about TJ, big shots, kneeling down to collect flowers, monthly tickets, rewards, and evaluation tickets. My goal in Chapter 2 is to become a true. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 2. My goal is to become a true fighter pilot. Jiang Chen looked at the girl. The girl is about 17 or 18 years old, dressed in a simple and elegant dress, with a standard melon seed face, a pair of big black and shiny eyes, and a smile on her lips. Jiang Chen smiled slightly and said, "Why did you come?" This girl's name is Xiao Mo, and she is Jiang Chen's childhood sweetheart. The two grew up together since childhood and their relationship has always been very good. How to say it? Belongs to the kind of lover who has not yet punctured the window paper. Xiao Mo walked over to the bedside and sat down before replying, "I'm afraid you might be foolish while reading, so I came over to take a look at you." "You're just reading foolishly," Jiang Chen rolled his eyes. Cut. Xiao Mobai glanced at him and continued, "If you don't leave the main gate or 2 gates in a day, you're just like a yellow flower girl in the old society who hasn't left the cabinet." However, seeing a hint of fatigue on Jiang Chen's face, he couldn't help but feel a little heartbroken. "With your strength, there's really no need to work so hard. This year, it was due to special reasons that you didn't perform well. You must be able to do it next year." Jiang Chen's grades have always been good, and he is definitely a top student. Just this time in the college entrance examination, due to some problems. Simply put, it was a lack of health, resulting in poor performance and not achieving ideal results, missing out on the ideal university. However, since I already have a ACE system, my goal is definitely not an ordinary university. Jiang Chen has long made up his mind to apply to Air Force University next year and become a true fighter pilot. Xiao Mo saw his silence and quickly asked, "What are you thinking?" "It's nothing," Jiang Chen replied, then asked, "Didn't you say you're going shopping with Li Li and her today? Why don't you go?" Li Li is their high school classmate and also Xiao Mo's best friend. "I'm back, I have another gift to give to you." Xiao Mo stood up and walked to the desk. She leaned against the desk and looked at Jiang Chen. His gaze was scorching. Jiang Chen looked a bit embarrassed and quickly avoided her gaze. Xiao Mo's eyes flashed with a hint of disappointment. However, she quickly adjusted her mindset and continued, "You don't even ask me what gift I have prepared for you." "What gift is it?" Jiang Chen asked. "Guess what?" Xiao Mo pouted. "The charming and silly appearance is very tempting." Jiang Chen tilted his head and asked, "Mobile phone?" Xiao Mo shook his head. "Tablet?" "No, it's not." "You won't buy me a laptop, will you?" "If your mother knew you had spent so much money on buying me a gift, she wouldn't have eaten you." "Che, my mom is not as cunning as you said. From childhood to adulthood, how many times have you had meals at my house? Has she ever said a word?" "You heartless." They grew up in the same courtyard since childhood, and their parents have a particularly good relationship. "Isn't it a phone, tablet, or computer?" Jiang Chen really doesn't know. Then he shook his head and said, "I really can't guess this time." Xiao Mo rolled his eyes, "It's boring." As he spoke, he took out a ticket from his bag and placed it on his desk. Jiang Chen looked bewildered. "Air tickets." He picked it up and saw that it was a plane ticket from Shuangqing to Sunlight City. "This little girl is going on a trip with me. Is this the rhythm of showdown with me?" Thinking of this, Jiang Chen's gaze became hot as he looked up and down at Xiao Mo, thinking to himself, "Actually, there's no need to be so troublesome. If you want to show your hand, you can do it anywhere. No matter what, I'll buy a few barrels of popcorn. Let's go to the cinema to watch a movie, and then have a candlelight dinner. That's all for now." Xiao Mo saw a strange look in his eyes and asked, "What are you thinking?" "No, it's nothing." "What do you mean by giving me a plane ticket?" Jiang Chen asked. "I made an appointment with Lily and the others before to go out for a trip after the college entrance examination. Today, when Lily was shopping, she brought up this matter again and hit it off. We bought our tickets and planned to take off from Sunlight City the day after tomorrow for a few fun days before coming back. Your ID card happened to be with me, so I decided to help you get your boarding pass." "Ah. It also comes with a light bulb." Jiang Chen suddenly lost interest. Shrugged and said, "You guys go, I'm not going." "Why don't you go?" "I've already bought my plane ticket." Xiao Mo looked aggrieved. "Boss, you guys are all admitted to college, so naturally you have the right to wander around. As a failed student, why not study hard at home and go out to play?" "I don't care, anyway if you don't go, I won't go." Xiao Mo grabbed Jiang Chen's arm and began to act coquettishly. "We're not going for long, it's just 7 days. Moreover, with your abilities, if you don't review for 7 days, you won't be able to get into a good university. What you need now is to relax, understand?" Seeing Jiang Chen's resolute expression, Xiao Mo rolled her eyes and whispered in Jiang Chen's ear, "If you agree to go, there will be surprises waiting for you." "Surprise?" Jiang Chen suddenly became excited. Quietly glanced at the childhood sweetheart who looked like a beauty, and suddenly felt a sense of unease. Xiao Mo saw that he was somewhat moved, so he decided to add another flame, embrace him with both hands, and then said, "Anyway, there's only one chance, whether or not you go is up to you. Go. Jiang Chen immediately intervened and spoke confidently. First of all, I'm not just for the so-called surprise. I feel that staying at home studying every day is not conducive to my physical and mental health. It's time to go out and relax. You. Xiao Moyu's scallion-like finger touched Jiang Chen's forehead and said, I'm too lazy to poke through all the careful thoughts in your heart. It's agreed that you shouldn't oversleep on the plane in the early morning of the day after tomorrow. I'll have to pack my luggage then, but I don't have time to call you. I know. Jiang Chen waved his hand impatiently. I'm not a pig, how could I not get up? Humph, for someone who missed the college entrance examination because of sleeping, how could they say they're not a pig? Is it because I took cold medicine that I felt better? Okay, it's not your fault. It's all due to the cold medicine. I'm leaving, I'll come back to you later to play. Xiao Mo said, turned around and walked out of the room. Jiang Chen casually placed his ticket on his desk and stretched lazily before murmuring, I don't know if there are any large passenger planes in the heavy aircraft section. How about flying a large passenger plane first to enjoy it? What he didn't know was that the boarding pass prominently read, Sichuan Airlines 3U8633, PS, monthly ticket, flower reward, evaluation ticket. Chapter 3. Golden Finger. Flight Simulation Cabin, 3/5. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 3 Golden Finger. Flight Simulation Cabin. With a movement of his mind, Jiang Chen returned to the virtual space. This time, he didn't hesitate and directly chose the map of heavy aircraft. Ding! The electronic synthesis sound of the system echoed in my mind once again. Congratulations to the host for successfully activating the heavy aircraft dungeon. You will receive the heavy aircraft driver's manual. Do you want to use it? Every time a dungeon is activated, the system will give away an aircraft driver's manual. After using it, Jiang Chen can proficiently master the driving skills of all the planes in the dungeon, so as not to lose sight. However, mastering flight skills does not necessarily mean being able to fly an airplane well. It's not difficult to fly a plane, but what's difficult is to fly some special planes. For example, in modern society, there are already many people who have flight licenses, but this does not mean that these people can pilot highly professional planes. Car drivers' licenses are all classified as A, B, and C. Being able to proficiently pilot special aircraft such as heavy aircraft, fighter jets, bombers, etc., without exception, requires years of professional training. For example, fighter pilots must undergo hundreds of hours of aerial training every year to be able to navigate the battlefield with ease. Moreover, the longer the aerial training time, the higher the combat literacy of the pilot. Don't underestimate the fact that a year only lasts for hundreds of hours. It should be noted that the engine lifespan of every fighter jet is generally not high. Taking the WS.10A engine equipped on the famous J-10C fighter jet in Xia country as an example, its lifespan is only 1,500 hours. So, the aircraft driver's manual, gifted to Jiang Chen by the system, can be called the golden finger among the golden fingers. With various types of aircraft pilot manuals, Jiang Chen skipped the novice stage directly. Although he cannot be compared to a well-trained pilot, he is no longer a newbie who has never seen the world before. At least he can pilot an airplane proficiently at the very beginning. Use. Jiang Chen did not hesitate and immediately chose to use it. Almost in an instant, he accepted all the contents of the heavy aircraft driver's manual. At the same time, 6 options appeared in front of Jiang Chen, namely: regional passenger planes, mainline passenger planes, tactical transport planes, strategic transport planes, tactical bombers, and strategic bombers. Among them, the selection pages for mainline passenger planes, strategic transport planes, and strategic bombers are grayed out. Jiang Chen cannot select these 3 options at this time. Actually, without the need for a system introduction, Jiang Chen understands what these options mean. Simply put, it's the laughter of an airplane. The so-called regional airliner is an aircraft with less than 100 seats, lightweight, and close flight distance. The same applies to tactical transport aircraft and tactical bombers. Jiang Chen thought for a moment and chose the option of regional plane. The next second, he appeared on a runway, and next to him, a plane quietly stopped at the end of the runway. Jiang Chen glanced at the plane and all the information about it came to his mind. ARJ-21.700 regional passenger aircraft, carrying 78.90 seats. The range is 2,225 kilometers, with a maximum takeoff weight of 40,500 kilograms and a maximum operating altitude of 11900 m. It is the first regional passenger aircraft of Xia country to have independent intellectual property rights. Entering the cockpit, Jiang Chen had no sense of unfamiliarity. Sitting in the captain's seat, Jiang Chen heard a voice from the tower. "Captain, please inspect your plane." After hearing the sound, Jiang Chen immediately replied. "The weather radar is turned off, the landing gear handle is lowered, the wipers are turned off, the battery is automatic, the external power control switch is turned on, and the APU fire extinguishing button is tested." As he spoke, he pressed a button on the dashboard and continued, "The inspection is complete. Flashlight inspection, escape rope inspection, rainproof agent inspection, and switch panel inspection are all in the closed state." These knowledge seemed to be engraved in his mind, not only opening his mouth, but also moving his eyes with his fingers while speaking, meticulously. He didn't treat the flight simulation cabin as a game at all, but rather he was actually piloting the plane and soaring into the clouds. After the inspection was completed, Jiang Chen said seriously, "The execution is complete." Then, Jiang Chen heard a voice from the tower. "Captain, please conduct a roundabout inspection of your plane." This is also a deserved meaning. Jiang Chen's mind moved and once again left the cockpit of the plane, appearing on the runway. After careful inspection, he returned to the cockpit once again. Sitting in the captain's seat, Jiang Chen spoke again, "Tower, I am ready to apply for the launch and driving. You can start driving. Wishing you a smooth journey and a safe arrival at your destination." The sound of the tower echoed in my ears. Jiang Chen remained calm and started APU. Then, he heard the roar of the aircraft engine. P.S. This is Chapter 3, begging for the support of all the big shots, asking for collection, flowers, rewards, evaluations, and monthly tickets. Chapter 4. Departure, Sunlight City, April 5th for collection. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 4 Departure, Sunlight City, Shuangqing City. Jiangbei Airport. At 5 o'clock in the morning, Jiang Chen sat in the waiting hall, closing his eyes and recuperating. Before 3 a.m., he was pulled out of bed by Xiao Mo. Today, this girl appeared particularly excited. Even though there were still more than 3 hours before boarding, she couldn't wait. So, the two of them left home at 3 o'clock. When I arrived at Jiangbei Airport by taxi, it was only 3:30 p.m., and there were still 2.5 hours left before boarding. I have no choice but to go to the waiting hall and find a spot to squint for a while. "Jiang Chen, are you hungry? Let's go have breakfast." Suddenly, Xiao Mo grabbed Jiang Chen's arm and said. Jiang Chen forced out a smile and said, "Just say what you want to eat, and I'll go buy it for you." Growing up together, he knows this childhood sweetheart too well. In name, it's going to eat together, but the real meaning is, "AI family is hungry, hurry up and prepare food for our family." Hee hee. Xiao Mo smiled and said, "You just watch and do it. Go and go back quickly. Lily and the others are already on the way." "I understand, but there's nothing to eat near the airport. I'll buy you some bread and milk to deal with it." "Okay." Jiang Chen stood up. "I first went to the bathroom to wipe my face and wake myself up, then went to the supermarket to buy some food." Walking back to the waiting hall, Xiaomo had already fallen asleep. Jiang Chen didn't wake her up either and sat next to her. Thinking that I couldn't sleep anymore, I had a sudden thought and entered the world of a flight simulation cabin. He first chooses to open personal attributes. Host. Jiang Chen, level. Rookie pilot, level is divided into rookie pilot, junior pilot, intermediate pilot, senior pilot, hero pilot, and ace pilot. Flight time. 0 simulated flight time. 8,000 hours, takeoff and landing times. 0 sorties, points. 0 experience value. 0, 1 point less experience value before upgrading, item. Trainer pilot manual, used, second generation fighter pilot manual, used, heavy aircraft pilot manual, used, task. None, pilotable type. Propeller aircraft series, trainer series, J7 fighter jet series, regional passenger planes, small passenger planes with less than 100 seats, and medium-sized passenger planes, single aisle, carrying more than 100 passengers and less than 200 passengers. Unlocked types. J8 fighter series, J10 fighter series, currently not equipped with driving conditions, unlocked types. Combat bombers, early warning aircraft, refueling aircraft, armed helicopters, heavy aircraft, third-generation fighter jets, fourth-generation fighter jets, PS, unlocked aircraft. You can obtain driving conditions by upgrading the driving level, or you can purchase the flight experience package to have driving conditions. Looking at his personal attributes, Jiang Chen sighed slightly. So far, whether it's integral or experience value, it's still 0. The reason is very simple, it is that I have not actually piloted an airplane at present. Even if the simulation cabin can simulate airplane driving in reality, I have not actually operated it and have no experience at all. However, if you are impatient, you cannot eat hot tofu. He is still just a high school junior who failed the exam. If he wants to truly fly a plane, he will have to continue working hard next year. Fortunately, when he obtained the system, it had completely transformed his body, making him fully qualified for pilot recruitment. Plus, the family background is innocent. So, as long as you perform well in the college entrance examination next year, it will be easy to get into an aviation university. Anyway, we have time now. Why don't we try the levels we didn't clear a few days ago? Jiang Chen murmured. Each instance has different levels, and after completing them, you will receive generous rewards. However, these levels are extremely difficult. So far, Jiang Chen has only passed a few levels such as airplane collision with birds and aerial parking. But the rewards are also very rich. A few days ago, he unlocked the heavy aircraft dungeon and got stuck in the first level. It's just a coincidence. The content of this level is related to the route they are flying today. This route flies from Shuangqing to Plateau Sunlight City, leaping from an altitude of several hundred meters to a snowy plateau with an altitude of over 3,000 meters. It involves crossing the Hengduan Mountains and various snow-capped mountains, so various complex climate conditions will also be encountered. The content of the level is also very simple, that is, as the captain of this route, Jiang Chen must safely take the plane and its passengers home. But the content is simple, but it is difficult to achieve. Either encountering cumulonimbus clouds, or encountering sudden windshield explosions. Accidents like this occur frequently. Not to mention that Jiang Chen is a rookie captain, even those old pilots who have flown for thousands of hours cannot guarantee that they can bring back the entire tail of the plane. Anyway, there's nothing to do, let's try again, murmured Jiang Chen. With a moment's thought, he had already appeared on the runway of the airport. P.S. Just now, there was a misunderstanding. I actually sent out all the book titles, so I had to resend them. I'm sorry, everyone, especially the big shot who threw flowers. Thank you. Add more rules. You are listening at novelfull.audio. This book itself is a niche article, so I no longer have much hope for it, just hoping for better data. As for TJ, this book has almost 100,000 words of saved manuscripts, so TJ won't be able to do it. Moreover, as long as the grades are good, there is no problem with 20,000 words exploding every day. 1. Add 1,000 new V charges per day, with 1 change added and no upper limit. 2. 500 new flowers are added every day, with an additional 1, without a cap. 3. Every day, 200 new evaluation tickets are added, with 1 update added and no upper limit. 4. Reward once a day, with an additional fee, and there is no upper limit. 5. 10 monthly tickets per day, plus 1 change, with no upper limit. Feilu's new book is not easy to make a name for. If everyone thinks this book is still good, how about throwing more flowers for the little bitch? This book has been prepared for a long time, and there are nearly 100,000 saved manuscripts in your hand. Every day, 10,000 words of updates are guaranteed. If it is a data explosion, it doesn't matter that I send all the saved manuscripts in one day. It depends on whether you can give awesome strength. Seeking collection, seeking flowers, seeking rewards, seeking monthly tickets, seeking evaluation tickets. Chapter 5. Offending Flower Idiots in Public. May 5th. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 5. Offending Flower Idiots in Public. Jiang Chen, MOMO, why did you come so early? Not far away, a voice came. Jiang Chen's mind moved and he immediately exited the flight simulation cabin. Opening her eyes, she saw a girl carrying a suitcase walking towards her not far away. He knows this girl. Xiao Mo's close friend and also Jiang Chen's high school classmate. Li. Xiao Mo also woke up at this moment. Seeing Li, she stretched lazily and appeared very cute and charming. Humph, you still think we came early? We didn't think you came late. Why don't you wait for someone else's plane to leave before coming back? This statement was so convincing that Jiang Chen couldn't help but roll his eyes. Boss. You came early yourself, why are you blaming others? Auntie, why don't you take a look at what time it is now? Our plane doesn't start checking in until 5:30. What's the point of you coming so early? Li complained. Of course it makes sense, Jiang Chen interjected from the side. Two girls looked at him at the same time. Didn't you realize that sleeping in the waiting hall is more enjoyable than sleeping in the bed at home? Jiang Chen blinked and said seriously. For a moment, neither of the two girls reacted, with a bewildered expression on their faces. After several seconds, Xiao Mo suddenly realized. Looking at Jiang Chen, with his hands on his hips and a look of wanting to eat people, he said, I just think sleeping in the waiting hall is more enjoyable. Why, do you have any objections? Jiang Chen quickly raised his hand and surrendered, how dare I have any objections? My aunt thinks sleeping on the main road is enjoyable, and I all raised my hands in agreement. Li's eyes rolled and suddenly spoke, I'm afraid it's not that sleeping in the waiting hall is more enjoyable, but sleeping with someone is more enjoyable. Upon hearing these words, Xiao Mo's face immediately turned red like an apple. With teeth and claws open, he pounced at Li and said, I'm fighting with you. On the side. Looking at the two beautiful women playing around, Jiang Chen suddenly felt speechless. Scratching his head, he looked puzzled and asked, Lily, how do you know it's better to sleep with two people together? Hiss. He pretended to have a sudden realization and continued, are you? The rest goes without saying, everyone understands. Li Lipton felt extremely embarrassed and immediately rushed towards Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen, you want to die? See if I don't tear your mouth apart. 5:30 a.m. Flight 3U8633 starts checking in. This time we went on a trip to Sunlight City. There were not only 3 of them, Jiang Chen, but also a few high school classmates. There are both men and women. However, these few people looked surprised when they saw Jiang Chen. Because Jiang Chen failed the college entrance examination this time and did not get into his ideal university, they thought they would work hard at home and prepare to fight again next year. I didn't expect to have leisure traveling with them. But soon I was relieved. After all, with Jiang Chen's strength, it is easy to get into the capital's Yanjing University and Qingbei University. This time, it's not because I overslept and didn't take the last subject. I estimate that I have already been admitted to these two universities in advance. The key is that even if he didn't take the final foreign language exam, his grade still surpassed more than 80% of the students in the school, reaching the key undergraduate level. So even though Jiang Chen did not get into his ideal university this time, in their hearts, he still did not change his image as a super academic bully. Attention passengers heading to Sunlight City, your flight 3U8633 is about to take off soon. The sound of the airport broadcast echoed in your ear. With the flow of people, the group followed the passage to the boarding gate. Passenger boarding gate. At this moment, two beautiful women wearing flight attendant uniforms are already standing at the entrance. Good morning, welcome aboard. The beautiful woman smiled professionally as she saw the passenger boarding. Jiang Chen pushed Xiao Mo to the boarding gate and couldn't help but be taken aback when he saw the two beautiful flight attendants standing at the door. Hey, what's going on? He couldn't help but mutter to himself. These two people are so familiar with each other. It's like I've seen it somewhere before. Especially the slightly older flight attendant on the left looks like a celebrity. Sir, could you please continue moving forward and not block the passengers behind from boarding? At this moment, a flight attendant urged with a smile on her face. Although I feel a bit unhappy being stared at by others all the time, I have been used to it as a flight attendant for several years. Jiang Chen reacted this time. With a slightly apologetic smile, he said, "Oh, okay, I'm leaving now." Xiao Mo, who was walking in front of Jiang Chen, turned around and glared at him fiercely, angrily saying, isn't it embarrassing to throw it away?" Surprisingly, he committed a flower obsession in public. Who committed flower obsession? I just feel a bit familiar, Jiang Chen quickly argued. Che. Just pretend to be you. You look familiar. How come I don't know when you met a beauty of this level? Son Yen, it's normal for hormones to flood at your age, but you can't always act like a teddy dog. Next time you do this, I won't take you out to play. Jiang Chen wished to block Xiao Mo's mouth. This girl's mouth is too poisonous, isn't it? Isn't it just to take a second look at beautiful women? Surprisingly being said to be like a teddy dog. If it were a teddy dog, would you have been in trouble long ago? P.S. Although I was mentally prepared, I was still stunned. One night passed, and surprisingly, there was only a meager 200 V, with less than 200 flowers and 0 other data. Dear experts, although this book is niche, it should not be so tragic. I beg for the support of all the experts. Today is the first update, and there will be 5 updates before 12 p.m. tonight. Chapter 6. East Asian Vinegar King, 1/5 for collection. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 6. The Little Vinegar King of East Asia, 13A, 13B. Jiang Chen looked at the boarding pass in his hand and counted the numbers on the plain wall. Our location is here, where are you going? Jiang Chen couldn't help but remind Xiao Mo as he continued to charge forward. Xiao Mo pouted, her face covered in the big 3 words unhappy, and continued, I'm going to sit with Lily. You like to see beautiful women so much, so I'll let you see enough. Ha! You're actually jealous. I like to be jealous before I reveal my relationship. After revealing my relationship, why don't you manage me to death? I won't get used to your bad habit. But thinking so in his heart, his mouth was not controlled by his brain, and he joked, Oh, are you jealous? Get lost, who's jealous of you? Xiao Mo continued to put on a face. East Asian Little Vinegar King, may I remind you? Do you see our location across from each other? Jiang Chen pointed to his own position. The two of them are located right in the middle of the plane, with an emergency hatch next to them. So, their positions are relatively open. However, not far from their respective positions, there is another position that happens to face them. Xiao Mo is also a bit strange. Although I have taken several flights before, it is still the first time I have been adjacent to the safety gate. So it was a bit strange and he asked, "See, what's wrong?" That position is exclusive to someone else's flight attendant. Alas, if you want to abandon me and go find Lily, let me be alone and enjoy the beauty quietly. Jiang Chen looked on with a look of bitter hatred. Xiao Mo suddenly became anxious and said, "Do you dare? If you dare to look around, look at me. What's wrong with you?" Jiang Chen smiled rather than smiled. "Let's see if I don't kill you." Xiao Mo said angrily and sat down in his seat. Jiang Chen had a smile on his face. "After putting away the luggage, sit back in your seat." A mental movement. Then, all the information about the plane had already appeared in my mind. Flight information. Sichuan Airlines 3U8633 model. Airbus A319 cruise speed. 848 km per hour maximum flight altitude. 12131 m route. Shuangqing. Sunlight City Airbus A319. Jiang Chen murmured to himself, "It belongs to a medium-sized passenger plane. I just unlocked one yesterday. How about flying it?" Just as I was thinking about it, my elbow was touched. Immediately reacted. I heard Xiao Mo's voice ringing in my ear. "What are you thinking?" Jiang Chen turned his head to look at her and said, "It's nothing, what's wrong?" "Humph, I believe you're a ghost," with a lewd expression on your face. "Are you reminiscing about the conversation with the other flight attendant just now?" Xiao Mo gasped in anger. Jiang Chen quickly raised his hand and surrendered. "Auntie, can we skip this topic? You've ruined all the jokes." "No," Xiao Mo said, holding hands. Unable to do anything, Jiang Chen had to use his trump card. "Get up and take down the luggage." Xiao Mo looked curious and asked, "What are you doing?" "Take an eye mask." "What are you doing with an eye mask? Aren't you afraid that I'll look at beautiful women?" "I'll put on my eye mask, so you can finally rest assured this time." As soon as these words were spoken, teasing gazes flooded the surroundings. "Oh, don't you lose yourself. I'm just joking with you, sit down quickly." Xiao Mo's face turned red and hot like an apple. Lien tugged and pushed Jiang Chen back to his seat before whispering, "Ahem, your attitude was pretty good just now. I'll forgive you, auntie. But next time you look around, be careful that I'll dig out your eyeballs." "So cruel, do you still have any human nature?" "Humph, if you don't believe it, give it a try." During the conversation, the plane was filled with passengers one after another. This route is quite busy, so although it's not yet 6 a.m., the cabin seats are already full. Dear passengers and friends. At this moment, the plane broadcast sounded, "Welcome to take Sichuan Airlines Flight 3U8633. This flight is from Shuangqing to Sunlight City, and the cabin door is about to close. Please confirm your ticket or boarding pass again to ensure safety." Jiang Chen took out his phone and adjusted it to airplane mode. Then he looked at Xiao Mo and asked, "Where's your phone?" "Oh." Xiao Mo suddenly realized and quickly searched for his phone everywhere. "But after searching for a while, I couldn't find it." She looked at Jiang Chen with a panicked expression and cried, "Jiang Chen, where is my phone?" Not far away, Li Li's voice was quite helpless. "Where is it with me? I just took a picture of your phone and in just a few minutes, you forgot." "Oh." Xiao Mo suddenly realized and covered her chest with a small hand like a jade onion, with a grateful expression on her face. It's good if it's not lost, it's good if it's not lost. You're so stupid, forget it. You can even forget this kind of thing. Jiang Chen rolled his eyes. Jiang Chen, put away your disdainful face and be careful not to scratch you. Xiao Mo threatened. Jiang Chen quickly changed his face and flattered, how dare I despise you. During their conversation, a flight attendant walked over. Bending down, he whispered, hello, excuse me, both of you. Jiang Chen looked at this beautiful flight attendant and indeed felt familiar. However, sitting next to him is an East Asian little jealous king, and he dare not look too much. Xiao Mo looked up at the flight attendant and asked with a smile, sister, what's wrong? Now the two of you are sitting at the emergency exit position on our plane. Under normal circumstances, please do not touch the red button on the door. The flight attendant always wore a professional smile on her face. Xiao Mo was a bit strange and tilted his head to ask, sister, what is this red button for? Before the flight attendant could answer, Jiang Chen said impatiently, this is the emergency hatch of the plane. It's okay to press it, it's just 98,000 yuan. 98,000, is that all? Xiao Mo was dumbfounded. The flight attendant on the side was also a bit awkward. Xiao Mo pinched Jiang Chen's arm hard, and Jiang Chen grinned in pain. She just looked at the flight attendant and waved her hand, saying, sister, don't worry, we won't press randomly. Okay, thank you for your cooperation. Wishing you both a pleasant journey. P.S. There was supposed to be a shift at noon, but there were some issues with the company, so there was no update. Although V was busy, there were actually 3 big shots giving tips and 2 big shots giving monthly tickets. Thank you very much, thank you for the support of the big shots. There are still 4 chapters left today, and I won't owe you. Moreover, the shift for the big shots will also be arranged tomorrow and the day after tomorrow. Thank you to the 3 big shots 189, WX_40, and 136 for giving VIP 100 points, thank you for submitting monthly tickets to 137 and WX_40, and thank you for submitting reminder tickets to 136. Thank you. Chapter 7. Waiting quietly for the advent of danger. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 7. Waiting quietly for the advent of danger, are you ashamed or not? After seeing the flight attendant leave, Xiao Mo looked disgusted and said. It's too embarrassing. Is it okay to press it once? 98,000, is that all? Big shot. How rich are you? Don't embarrass yourself, Jiang Chen continued with a serious tone, I'm just elaborating on an objective fact. Cut. Xiao Mo gave him a big white eye and began to close his eyes to rest. Now the sky is slightly bright, and the two of them wake up before 3 a.m. to rush to the airport, so Xiao Mo is now feeling sleepy and flustered. Jiang Chen saw that she wanted to sleep, so he quickly pressed the service button. Hello sir, may I ask if you need anything? A flight attendant walked over and bowed to ask. Could you please bring a blanket? Thank you. Okay, please wait a moment. Not long after, the flight attendant walked over holding a blanket. Blinking his eyes, Jiang Chen joked, you're so considerate, handsome guy. This little sister is so lucky. What does this mean? Sister, I'm single. Beside her, Xiao Mo surprisingly did not refute, but instead smiled sweetly at the flight attendant and said, thank you. You're welcome, is there anything else I need? No more, thank you. After the flight attendant left, Xiao Mo whispered, you can also take a nap. Our schedule is full today, so you don't have time to sleep. Alright, you sleep with me, don't worry about me, Jiang Chen said. He saw Xiao Missouri close his eyes again, and then his mind moved and he returned to the virtual world in the flight simulation cabin. Enter the heavy aircraft dungeon and enter the regional aircraft option. Find the Airbus A319 model and confirm. Then, he appeared on an open runway. Aircraft cockpit. Captain Liu Changjian fastened his seatbelt. Beside him, co-pilot Suyu put on his headphones and gave Liu Changjian a thumbs up. Then he opened the communication equipment and called the tower, saying, Jiangbei ground, Shudi 8633, parking stand 211, apply to launch and drive. The sweet voice of the tower girl came from the earphones. Shu land 8633, Jiangbei ground, can be pushed out for driving, correct sea pressure 1019. With the command from the tower, Liu Changjian immediately started the aircraft's APU, auxiliary power unit, and then the engine of the Airbus A319 aircraft roared. Guided by the tractor, the plane turned its nose and slowly headed towards a straight runway. When the plane stopped straight at the end of the runway, Liu Changjian gave the command to start the second engine. Suyu immediately started the second engine. Tower, Sichuan Airlines 8633, 02 left runway waiting point. Shu Airlines 8633 is ready for takeoff. With the command from the tower, Liu Changjian placed his right hand on the throttle push rod. Slowly pushing the throttle, the plane immediately began to accelerate. The speed of the plane is getting faster and faster, jumping up high with the nose. The plane is like a sharp arrow, piercing straight into the sky. At this moment, the burning clouds in the sky seem to be ignited, appearing particularly bright. At the same time, inside the flight simulation cabin, Jiang Chen also received instructions from the tower. I saw him placing his right hand on the throttle push rod, gradually increasing his horsepower. Roaming and rumbling, the aircraft's engine emitted a deafening roar. Jiang Chen clenched the control lever and piloted the plane straight into the sky. He did not have a co-pilot, a safety officer, or a flight attendant on this flight, and all operations were completed by one person. So, even though he had a heavy aircraft driver's manual that made him familiar with the driving process of the plane for a long time, at the moment of takeoff, he appeared particularly flustered. In no time, the plane had already flown to an altitude of 10,000 meters. Airplanes and fighter jets are different, usually raising their flying altitude to tens of thousands of meters. The reason is simple. The purpose of civil aviation aircraft is to deliver passengers to their destination comfortably and safely. At an altitude of tens of thousands of meters, the meteorological conditions are relatively simple, and there will be no unexpected situations such as bird collisions. More importantly, with the continuous development of civil aviation, there are too many passenger planes flying in the sky every day. If all aircraft choose to fly below 10,000 meters, it will increase the risk of collision. Flying at an altitude of tens of thousands of meters also facilitates the control and command of ground towers. This is also why civil aviation aircraft are not equipped with parachutes. If an accident really occurs at an altitude of 10,000 meters, it is the same whether there is a parachute on the plane or not. Because choosing to parachute from a height of 10,000 meters is no different from jumping from 100 floors. A few minutes later, Jiang Chen piloted the passenger plane and successfully reached an altitude of 10,000 meters. The sunlight poured into the cabin, staining everything with a golden hue. Activate autonomous driving mode. Jiang Chen ordered. The aircraft received instructions and began autonomous driving. However, Jiang Chen did not take it lightly. Because he has flown this route countless times, although it is temporarily calm, danger is waiting for him not far away. And what he needs to do now is to quietly wait for danger to come. PS, 24 hours, 500 V. Although I am mentally prepared, I still feel a bit sad. Today's third chapter, there will probably be 3 more in a while. Thank you all for the flowers. Chapter 8. Cooking Man, 3/5 for collection. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 8. The Cooking Man, do. In the cockpit, a piercing alarm sounded on the aircraft dashboard. The aircraft's windshield was damaged, causing the aircraft to lose balance and the second engine, to lose power. The aircraft will crash in 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8. 3, 2, 1. With a loud explosion, Jiang Chen returned to the selection page. At this moment, his face was filled with a look of regret. Damn it. It failed again. This route, no, it should be because the difficulty of this level is amazing. Even after trying more than 10 times, we still haven't found a way to pass the level smoothly. Firstly, the aircraft's windshield was inexplicably damaged, causing cold air to enter the cabin and causing the aircraft to lose balance. After finally stabilizing the plane, the engine malfunctioned again. If the engine of an airplane malfunctions, it is not as easy as a car to park on the roadside and wait for rescue. Without power, it will fall straight from a height of 10,000 meters and crash directly. At that time, it will not be a simple matter of machine destruction or human death. If there really is an air disaster, it would be fortunate to have saved the entire body. Moreover, the progress of the level has only reached 2/3, and even if the problem with engine power is solved, there is still a more difficult situation waiting for oneself. So, it's extremely difficult to pass the level. However, Jiang Chen has long been accustomed to it. The levels in the flight simulation cabin are all at the level of hell in terms of difficulty. Otherwise, after more than a month, he would have barely passed 3 or 4 levels. With a mental movement, return to reality. Ha! Jiang Chen heavily exhaled a mouthful of turbid air. At this point, the plane has started taxiing on the runway. He spent at least 3 or 4 hours in the virtual world, but in real life, he probably only spent 1 or 2 minutes. Cockpit. Speed 100. Co-pilot Suyu stared intently at the dashboard. Lu Changjian held the lever and answered calmly, confirmed. V1. Suyu continued. Lift the wheels. With his command, Lu Changjian slowly pulled the control lever, and the nose of the plane quickly lifted, facing the sky. At the moment when the plane left the ground, everyone on the plane felt as if they were weighing down a fat man, feeling a bit suffocated. However, the 2 people inside the cockpit have long been accustomed to this feeling. Keep your face unchanged and continue operating the plane. The plane ascended 100 meters and the captain issued an order. Retract the wheels. Suyu immediately pressed the button. I saw the pulleys at the belly of the plane gradually retracting. Lu Changjian held the control stick and kept the aircraft in a side-flying posture, which was more conducive to climbing altitude. A few minutes later, the plane had successfully flown to an altitude of 10,000 meters. The sunlight poured in through the window. Looking out the window, it feels as if one is situated on a golden ocean, especially beautiful. Jiang Chen once again woke up from the virtual world of the flight simulation cabin, but at this moment, there was a hint of a smile on his face. This time the clearance still failed. However, this time he found a way to prevent the plane from crashing due to the loss of power from the aircraft engine. The Airbus A319 is a mid-size passenger aircraft with 2 engines. If one of them loses power, the probability of crashing reaches 80%. However, this is not absolute either. If the captain has rich driving skills and experience, he can also bring the plane back. Simply put, it means striving to maintain the balance of the aircraft, then gradually lowering the altitude by gliding, and then using another engine to maintain power. In this way, the plane can be safely brought back to the airport. However, while it may seem simple to say, the difficulty level of implementation is surprisingly high. Just one sentence. Strive to maintain airplane balance, few people can do it. The reason why Jiang Chen was able to achieve this is entirely because he has simulated hundreds of flights in the flight simulation cabin, and his flight experience is comparable to that of some veteran pilots. But his mission still failed. Because on the return journey, the plane, which had lost power, encountered cumulonimbus clouds again. Those who have studied climatology know that clouds are not as beautiful as they appear. The clouds contain a large amount of water vapor, hail, and even thunderstorms and lightning. If a plane breaks into a cumulonimbus cloud, it is like stepping into hell with 1 foot, let alone a plane that has lost balance and momentum. Forget it, I can't eat hot tofu in a hurry. Let's take it slow. Jiang Chen stretched lazily. Anyway, there is plenty of time, and I will not take the college entrance examination until a year later. Moreover, even if you get into an aviation college, you won't be able to fly a plane immediately. So, he has plenty of time. The plane has taken off. Xiao Mo rubbed his eyes and asked. Jiang Chen nodded. He saw the flight attendant distributing breakfast and immediately asked, "We estimate we won't be able to reach our destination until 8 or 9 o'clock. Do you want to continue sleeping, or do you want to have some breakfast before sleeping?" As a foodie, how could you miss a sumptuous breakfast just because of sleeping? Xiao Mo became interested when she heard something to eat. Jiang Chen shrugged his shoulders. "Foodie, I'm afraid you'll be disappointed this time. Unless you are a reincarnated starving ghost, you will never have any interest in the food on the plane. P.S. Thank you again for the big reward from 136. Thank you for your great support. Thank you. Today is the 4th shift. It is estimated that there will be 1 shift before 12 o'clock, and then there will be 1 shift after 12 o'clock. If not, it will be tomorrow morning at 6 or 7 o'clock. Is the rhythm a bit slow? This is because Xiaojian Jun's setting is for the protagonist to learn enough flying experience and skills in the flight simulation cabin, so that he can calmly control the plane in the upcoming air disaster. However, the climax is coming soon, and I hope everyone can continue to support Xiaojian Jun and not lose patience. Chapter 9. 3 Steps to Approach a Flight Attendant, April 5th. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 9 3 Steps to Approach a Flight Attendant. At 6:20 in the morning, sunlight poured in from outside the cabin. The plane suddenly experienced a jolt. Ladies and gentlemen, the plane has encountered turbulence due to airflow. For your safety, please confirm again that your seatbelt is fastened and the bathroom will be temporarily suspended. On the radio, the voice of the flight attendant came in. Xiao Mo nervously grabbed Jiang Chen's arm. "Why, are you feeling unwell?" Jiang Chen smiled and asked. After the plane regained stability, Xiao Mo waved his hand and said, "It's okay." She is a bit afraid of heights, so every bumpy flight is a torment for her. Across from the two, a young and beautiful flight attendant saw Xiao Mo's face looking a bit ugly and whispered, "Little sister, should I pour you a glass of warm water?" "Thank you, sister." "No need," Xiao Mo squeezed out a smile at the other party. "It's okay." The flight attendant also answered with a smile. This flight attendant is around 20 years old and has a very sweet and beautiful appearance. Especially when she was wearing a flight attendant uniform and a tube skirt and stockings, it was even more imaginative. However, Jiang Chen sat next to an East Asian jealous king, so even if he thought the other person was beautiful, he dared not take a few more glances. Just muttering inwardly, "What's going on? Why do you feel familiar with each of these flight attendants today? Is it true that the young master has made a fool of Flowers? Aircraft cockpit. Execute the bumpy checklist." Captain Lu Changjian looked relaxed. He has flown this route hundreds of times, at least dozens of times with this strong airflow, it's just a small scene. Suyu adjusts the bumpy speed. Bounce speed 275. Confirm. Captain, the autopilot has been disconnected. Suyu is a bit nervous. He is flying this route for the first time. Traveling from the mountain city at an altitude of 400 meters to Sunlight City at an altitude of 3,650 meters, it is common to encounter various complex weather conditions. Moreover, at the junction of the basin and the plateau, there are countless towering snow-capped mountains blocking the flight route, which further increases the difficulty of flying. I drive manually. Lu Changjian's expression remained relaxed. Tell the ground to apply for altitude when encountering strong airflow. Good. After flying the plane to an altitude of 11,000 meters, it regained stability. This aircraft is a medium-sized regional passenger plane, carrying around 100 passengers. According to relevant regulations, there are approximately 8 flight attendants. They are Captain Lu Changjian, Deputy Captain Su Yu, Flight Attendant Bai Nan, Flight Attendant Zhou Ye, Huang Jia, Zhang Yeye, Yang Hui, and Safety Officer Wu Gao. However, a second captain is usually appointed to assist the captain in handling various dangerous situations. However, due to the short distance of this route, there was no dedicated second captain assigned. It's 6:30 in the morning now. Due to the turbulence just now, the breakfast distribution work was interrupted. Now the plane is gradually stabilizing, so Zhou Ye continues to push the small cart and distribute breakfast from the back cabin of the plane. Xiao Mo had already forgotten the anxiety she had just experienced when she saw breakfast. Spread out the small panel and wait for the flight attendant to push the small cart over. Hello, do you both need breakfast? Zhou Ye asked softly. I want it. Xiao Mo immediately spoke up and took the food from Zhou Ye's hand. Zhou Ye looked at Jiang Chen and continued to ask, little handsome guy, what about you? A cup of coffee, thank you. You don't have breakfast. Xiao Mo felt a bit strange. No, I had some bread and milk at the airport and I'm not hungry yet, Jiang Chen replied. It's not that I'm not hungry, but that I'm immune to the food on the plane. Oh. Then I don't care about you. Xiao Mo didn't care either. Let's eat yours, Jiang Chen couldn't help but feel uneasy. Coffee, right. We'll have to wait for a while, Zhou Ye answered gently. It's okay, you're busy. Just give it to me when you're busy. Okay, thank you for your understanding. Speaking, pushing the small cart forward. Xiao Mo eagerly opened the lunchbox. However, when she saw the food in the lunchbox, her face was filled with loss. Ah. Zhajiangmian. I took a sip. The disappointed face regained its smile and said, isn't it as bad as I imagined, little orange? Why don't you take a breath? Jiang Chen quickly waved his hand to refuse. As expected, it is the soul of the people who work hard. This kind of zhajiangmian can be used. Okay. This girl has been delicious for more than one day. Let alone the zhajiangmian on the plane, she is hungry. The zhajiangmian in the school canteen can do several bowls. The key is not to gain weight no matter how you eat. So edible, how can I deal with it if I can't afford to raise it in the future? Jiang Chen saw the sweetness of her food and immediately leaned over to ask, is it delicious? Is it okay, take a breath? Xiao Mo said in a big way. No way. Cut, you're still so picky about food. No wonder you're so skinny and have no sense of security. Rolling thick, the young master is 180 meters tall and weighs 70 kilograms. Is his standard figure good? Cut, it's as thin as a bamboo pole, it's still standard. Although that was the case, Xiao Mo felt happy in his heart. Jiang Chen's figure has improved a lot in the past month. Last time I watched him change clothes, he actually had 8 abdominal muscles. TSK. I almost had nosebleeds. Jiang Chen naturally didn't know what Xiao Mo was thinking at this moment, but looked at the busy flight attendant not far away and said, I'll tell you a joke, do you listen? Listen, Xiao Mo answered while cooking. Do you know that if a flight attendant is sexually assaulted on a plane, they have to go through 3 steps to deal with it? I don't know, go away, you're so dirty. Xiao Mo gave him a big white eye. Cut it off, just don't listen. Jiang Chen suddenly lost interest. Brother. Suddenly, a voice next to him sounded. Jiang Chen turned his head and saw a fat man sitting next to him, who was looking at him with a lewd expression on his face. Jiang Chen suddenly looked guarded. The chubby man quickly waved his hand and said, "I have no ill intentions. Can you tell my buddies about the 3 steps? P.S. Thank you very much to 189 for giving VIP 100 points again. Thank you very much for your support. Thank you."